To return some videotapes. To return some videotapes. To return some videotapes. To return some videotapes. Videotapes. To return some videotapes.
What kind of videotapes do you have to return?
The best kind.
VHS tapes. That's what we're returning tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we rented 2 movies, and we're going to battle them out.
In this corner, released in 1993, starring Sylvester Stallone,
Cliffhanger!
Cliffhanger. In the right corner, released in 2000, starring Chris O'Donnell, Vertical Limit.
Vertical Limit.
I have an applause button, but it's funny to do that to me.
So we're doing a versus series.
It has begun.
The first ever
Official released.
Yes.
that wasn't lost in the ether.
We went down this
So-
road once before, but the car derailed.
We are recording this time, right?
Oh, yeah.
The
This
lens
thing's
is
going.
The cap is off the lens of the camera.
I'm pretty sure it recorded last time. There was it glitched.
Glitched.
So we're going to do 4 rounds here.
4 rounds. 4 topics of discussion about these 2 films.
These movies involve mountains.
So basically, yeah, mountains and climbing.
That's the
Climbers,
theme. That's what you do with a mountain. Or you frack it.
Round one.
Round 1.
Round 1.
Fight.
Fight.
The cast.
Yes, the cast and the characters, which, by the way, I have character selection music for this.
Hell yeah. Okay, so Cliffhanger, featuring Sylvester Stallone, John Lithgow, Michael Rooker, and a bunch of other fucking people that I don't fucking care about.
I also wrote down, it also stars Sylvester Stallone's thighs.
Fuck yeah. it does.
My eyes were drawn to his thighs throughout this movie.
That
as he's
motherfucker
dangling
is
and
ripped.
shit.
Yeah, you're looking at his packaging.
I
there,
can
too.
believe him doing this shit more than Chris O'Donnell.
And
Is that appropriate?
Chris O'Donnell, Bill Paxton, Robin Tooney,
Tamara
Tamara Morrison.
and
Yes,
Ben
Boba Fett
Mendelsohn.
was the
Yeah, pretty
First.
slick selection of characters to choose from.
All these people are currently owned by the Mouse House. Some of them appear in the Star Wars universe. Some of them appear in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, we're going to go through some of those. Like Ben Mendelsohn, who's in Vertical Limit.
He's crazy. Like, I didn't recognize him, but I heard his voice, and I was like, God damn it, that's Director Krennic.
Yeah, he's also
Rogue
in
One.
He's in Star Wars and Marvel. He's in Captain
shit.
Marvel,
Yeah, he's in
He's
Captain
in
Marvel.
Disney.
and he's in Secret Invasion that's going to be coming out.
Fuck.
And
Then obviously...
he was
Tamara-
also in Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, he is, yeah.
So he's in DC as well.
Shit, man, he gets around. Mm-hmm. He's really come a long way, though, because he plays a kind of an idiot stoner in Vertical Limit, which is fun.
It's interesting, yeah, I like it.
I didn't know he was that well versed, honestly, because like everything he's doing now seems to be kind of very
there's a
specific.
stoner guy couple in both films.
Yes,
Yes,
here for it.
little
One-
romance.
One is the extreme '90s version.
No, one's the '93 version, one's the 2000 version. Those guys grew up and moved across country. It's actually
They're the same people.
This is actually a sequel to that.
No, because one of them dies, and
Shut up, Nick. Don't
3
tell
of the
people
4 brothers die.
Right.
Those
Yeah.
stoner characters.
the parachuting guy survives.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
In Cliffhanger.
Sadiq El Fadil from Star Trek Deep Space Nine plays one of the climbers. His cousin is one of the guy
Oh,
that's
they get
dying.
strapped at the
yeah.
beginning. Okay.
In Vertical Limit?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Okay. I'll say we also have Michael Rooker in Cliffhanger.
Yes.
with hair.
Yes.
Michael Rooker and Cliffhanger with Stallone, who both appear in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Surprised
as
he
Ravengers.
survives. I was surprised he survives the film. I figured he was going to die at some point,
I could see that.
but they kill the random old guy they worked with instead.
That's the thing. What do you think of who has the better cast? What's your call on that?
I think Cliffhanger.
You think Cliffhanger has the better cast?
As far as like memorable actors,
Damn.
maybe Vertical Limit has better characters. But Cliffhanger has...
I'm going to have to say Vertical Limit on both accounts. Here's my reasoning. Bill Paxton, first of all. I'm not a Stallone guy. I don't give a fuck about Stallone.
I'm a Stallone
Well, fuck,
guy.
Bill Paxton's Marvel too, because he was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series as a guy.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Was he?
Yeah. That was one of the last things he did before he died.
And Robin Tooney's in Empire Records and The Craft and End of Days with Schwarzenegger.
Damn.
They both have good casts, but I feel like Stallone and Rooker and Lithgow are just bigger, well-known people.
Well, it's very cheesy. Stallone is actually he does pretty well on that. I'll give you that. I'm just not a Stallone fan.
Cliffhanger is cheesy. Yeah, it's definitely cheesy.
Lithgow is cheesy as fuck to me.
His natural voice does not lend well to doing the accent he's trying to do.
Yeah. Plus, it's just Die Hard on a Mountain. Like, that's what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, I was going to say, this feels like a Die Hard sequel, and he is a true Die Hard villain there. Early Die Hard films, right?
Yeah.
So,
Cliffhanger also has one of the guys from Twister in it.
Bill Paxton.
No.
Oh, you said Cliffhanger.
Yeah. The guy who drives Jonas around.
oh,
He
shit.
is one of the cops who's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He has a mustache, but
With,
he's there. He doesn't... I don't think he has many lines.
With Paul
but
Winfield and Bruce. Well, that's another thing.
I picked him out and was like, yeah, that's him.
I love Paul Winfield and I love Bruce McGill, and they're in Cliffhanger also. I've got to give cast Cliffhanger.
Man, they're both very,
Not saying Cliffhanger I think is the better film.
not to be controversial, but I'm going to go with the draw on this because the cast have
Yeah.
each fucking done
I'd-
very good
I'd say it's-
jobs. And they all have, like, names and people that you're like, oh, man, they're in so much shit.
I'd say it's a close to a draw for me, but I got to give Cliffhanger an edge here.
So then that's basically a tie 100% because I gave it to Vertical, you gave it to Cliffhanger, and he's in the middle.
It's a draw.
Yeah.
Round one's the draw, right? and that
my
happens. That can
God.
happen in Mortal Kombat. That can happen.
Friendship.
Exactly. That's exactly what that is. It's friendship.
Excellent.
All right, round two.
Did you have
Round two.
Did you put animality or what the fuck?
Fight.
No. I can get
Round
more as we
two.
go forward.
All right, break it down for us, Alec.
What are we doing this one, Nick?
Plot/realism
Plot
/ use of premise.
realism. Okay, let's see here. Vertical Limit easily takes it on the realism, but there are two moments in particular that are total horseshit in this movie for me. First being when one of the brothers is with the Sheila and hanging off the edge, and they keep hanging off the edge, and then she swings him to the side, and he literally barely grabs on with a hand. Like, that was all bullshit.
Oh, where he jumps from one cliff to the other with his axe stains.
That's the second moment, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chris O'Donnell doing that in the second
Yes, that's
one,
the
yeah.
second moment where that one's horseshit.
It's more realistic overall, but it has
Yes.
more egregious, unrealistic moments.
Well, I wouldn't
maybe?
say that because the other one has some pretty egregious fucking shit happening. Let's just be clear. Like,
They all do.
Stallone with fucking shirtless, basically, and just
He
sweating
would-
and not having hypothermia and all that
Oh,
shit.
well, after he goes underwater, and then like the next shot of him, he's completely dry and not
Well, that's a continuity error. That's
doesn't have
happens in movies all the
necrotic
time.
skin or anything.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, he had no ill effects from
Yeah.
being practically half naked in this environment.
So in terms of realism, it's, again...
Vertical Limit, hands down, wins that. Now, there's things in that, like the
Yeah, I
whole
wouldn't-
nitro
I
thing and
wouldn't
like
say
the
it's a draw.
explosions.
In terms of realism, for sure.
They keep spelling their surge everywhere,
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Or Mountain
and
Dew.
it just
One of the
explodes.
two.
No,
Now-
this is green, man.
These
Mountain Dew is like a yellow green, and surge is green, right?
These movies
Kinda,
both get fucking absurd, but they both start out in the same fucking manner. They both start out with like people like doing normal shit, like here they are in their normal element, like here's what happens, and then tragedy strikes.
And then they don't do the thing anymore. Chris O'Donnell and Stallone both stop climbing.
Yeah, so Stallone disappears for a fucking full
It's
year.
really
comes
cheesy when
back.
they zoom in on Chris O'Donnell right before he cuts the line,
Yeah.
which is in my TikTok. Check it out.
Well,
And showing the body fall is pretty funny.
yeah, that I did not expect.
That's where it clicked in my head. I was like, "This is funny. How would I do this on a TikTok?"
No, I think that was those they basically have the main character in each of these stories going through different shit. Like, to your point earlier, Nick, Chris O'Donnell does not look like the type of guy that can fucking climb to save his
He's a
life.
little doughy.
I mean, so Stallone's just fucking overly ripped, but if you look at the average builder, a lot of muscle mass is not going to be to your advantage when you're really climbing, right?
Because you're heavier.
Yeah.
So you need to You need to have
Well,
very
I was
lean
thinking
muscle to
watching
be
this,
flexible
like,
and
I
all
don't
that.
care how fucking strong you are. Eventually, how do these climbers do this and not just get fucking worn out?
Well, they do. I mean, that's part of what makes
they
it
climb
like,
for a while, then they set up camp, and then they climb later. But just even in a short,
well, that's why
short
there's this
term.
fascination around this, right? Obviously, there's these movies and other shit and all that kind of stuff that goes down with it.
Was Vertical Limit inspired by Cliffhanger at all?
I think Vertical Limit. Is there not a book that it's based on? Am I making that up?
I'm sure something similar happened at some point.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be based on actual events.
And there's a lot of helicopter shit in these movies, right? You're dealing with mountains and stuff like that. So there's
Yeah,
lots of
it's more-
over.
No, I'm
overhead
thinking of
there.
Into Thin Air because there's a movie based on that. It's another like trapped climbing movie, I think.
Which film uses the premise of mountain climbing better?
Vertical Limit for sure.
I think so too.
Cliffhanger's more rescue operation,
Yeah.
so it's
It's
slightly different in that sense.
It feels like that's the setting
yeah.
more than it's the subject. I don't know.
Yes.
Kinda like how
Vertical
Die Hard
Limit.
isn't a Christmas movie. That's just the setting.
Fuck you, Nick. I'm gonna throat punch you right here on the show.
Yeah, so I think Vertical Limit takes this round. Do you
I
guys
would
agree?
have to agree with that. I'm feeling pretty good with that. I
Let me
mean,
see.
you
What-
see
I
all
need
the
a pen here.
you see all the
I'm
base
keeping
camps
track.
going on there,
I need-
right?
You want to keep track?
Vertical
Yeah,
Limit
I'm on
really
keep track too.
Vertical Limit tells the full story of the climbing and what's going on around with it. Some of the shit that happens in the movie is fucking stupid and absurd, but these base camps, the gear they're using, all that, the technology is all there, right? And it shows you a little bit more about the technology breaking.
Yeah, it's way more in depth about the subject matter.
Now, the opening sequence, that round goes to Ace Ventura when nature calls. I gotcha.
I don't know.
When they spoof that, I think that does a lot better with it and showing the trauma that someone would really go through. He goes
I
and
was about to
becomes a
say,
monk.
To be fair, that scene in this movie, Cliffhanger, that is a pretty traumatic scene. Like, I buy it very well because that woman, you feel very terrible for her having
She's
to die this way.
fucking terrified. And then he's guilty.
She's
as shit,
terrified
too.
about just being there and like having to go across that thing at all.
I think I give Vertical Limit the win on that slightly because he has to cut his own father off.
Yeah, but his dad trained him on that. That's just like
But
I think it's executed better in Cliffhanger
the opening is
because it's funnier in Vertical Limit.
I still say that round goes to Ace Ventura.
the
I think they did it better. I cared more about the animals and those people
the opening.
emotionally as a person. That's what I felt.
I think the opening has more to do with the whole film for Cliffhanger,
For sure.
whereas in Vertical Limit, I think it's
Well,
not-
Vertical Limit uses that to tie back into it and to tie this character that knows their dad into it, right? They really do a nice job of tying.
I think the
knot on
opening is
that one.
more impactful in Cliffhanger, maybe, but Vertical Limit wins this round.
Yeah, Vertical Limit for sure.
Vertical Limit does a much better job of like building tension and many things throughout the movie overall, though. So
You suck.
Round 3, what do we got?
Fun?
fun.
Did you have fun? Which one did you have more
shit.
fun watching?
Well,
That's a trick question.
that
for me.
is a trick question.
I think it makes me think of when we talked about Hellraiser, where it's not fun to watch, but it's enjoyable. Vertical Limit is more tense and causes some anxiety. Whereas
It's hard for me to answer legitimately.
whereas Cliffhanger is just dumb, fun action schlock. So maybe
Well, Cliffhanger has
Cliffhanger.
the goofy villain and like them trying to track down to get money. Like there's still some like real stake shit in there.
but if by fun we also mean which one did we enjoy watching more?
I don't know. Here's the thing. If we're going by fun,
What about
at some
enjoyment?
point,
Maybe the
Cliffhanger
word
turns into a Friday the 13th movie, and Stallone just
Yes.
goes on a rampage and
Yes.
is lifting
Stallone
bodies
becomes
into
Stallone.
fucking
Yes.
stalagmites and shit.
That was the most fun of the two movies, I think. Him killing that guy that way, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking brutal.
But we also have a category for deaths. So
I don't
maybe-
feel like I can honestly judge this right now because Vertical Limit was a first time viewing for me when I watched this, and I've seen Cliffhanger several
I've seen
times.
both of these, but it's been a really long time for both.
So for me, I knew exactly what to expect. So the tension that I had in Vertical Limit, I don't know if it would be there in the second viewing. Did you guys have the tension there throughout the other viewings, like still knowing what was going to happen? Like
I
was
didn't
it-
remember it
I've,
well enough to.
I've watched it in the last year, both of these movies before this. So, yeah, I still had a good time watching. I didn't really remember everything exactly. So,
If you want to look at it as enjoyment,
And also, I just want to point out Montgomery Wick is played by the cop in Silence of the Lambs,
Oh shit! Yeah.
in charge of Starling.
Starling.
What's his name? Jack Crawford.
I don't know why they shaved his beard off though in that movie. Like, what was that supposed to say?
He knew he was about to go kill Vaughn.
So why didn't he shave his beard? It's cold outside.
He did it as a ritual thing. He's religious or something. He's like, I'm gonna go kill.
Oh,
this
that
guy.
was the
I'm
one
shaving
thing
beard."
about that movie that really pissed me off in Vertical Limit. I'm like, this motherfucker. That's another reason to hate religion. Like, this motherfucker goes off and prays. Knowing
He didn't
damn
kill
well
him, though.
He wants to fucking murder this guy, but he says he's going to. Like, he prays because he
the
knows he's
guy
going to go
from-
murder somebody. I'm like, what kind of fucking religion allows that?
The guy
Fuck
from
off.
Deep Space Nine.
And then finding his body of his wife. Okay, that part was a little.
Islam does allow you to kill your enemies or blasphemous people, I think. So did Christianity originally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they all-
You should dress up as the Prophet Muhammad sometime.
yeah, you should draw him too.
We should portray
you
him.
should draw him live on TikTok.
We should portray him every episode. Should be our logos.
The
Muhammad.
drawing.
Yeah, there's a band called Draw Muhammad. They have a lot of
That's
death
nice.
threats.
they're not going to come to Kansas to kill us. Come on.
I don't know about
Missouri.
that. I wouldn't tell them where you live right now, Nick. I'll tell you that.
They know.
Especially when they can find you at events, charity events.
Well, this got dark.
It did.
Kind of like Vertical Limit.
Yeah, it did.
So
So
His wife is not freezer burned enough. Like, I don't care. Like, her face would not be that nice.
yeah,
Like, you'd probably be able to find the necklace
still.
hanging
I
on her.
thought she was still fuckable at this point.
She looked like a sex doll.
Warm her up in the
Because there
microwave.
wasn't, clearly wasn't a real person.
Warm her up in the microwave for 30 seconds. Come on.
Whatever you got to do to get by, Nick.
The date's over.
Well, maybe instead of calling it fun, maybe overall enjoyment. I don't know.
I had more fun watching Cliffhanger.
I was about to say enjoyment, I guess,
Like if
because
you-
fun, yeah.
Like if you say fun, then maybe it's
Cliffhanger definitely has the edge on fun.
yeah.
The kills in Cliffhanger, like when Stallone kills that guy, just like fucking brutally murders him through that. That alone sells that movie for me and puts
It's also funny when those two guys get blown up by the leaking nitro though, or what do you call it?
It's just fucking ignorant though. Like when Stallone picks somebody up and goes, ah!
No, that's the best kill. By
It's
far,
more
yeah.
tragic in Vertical Limit when people die.
Yeah.
Anybody. In Cliffhanger, the only tragic death is the woman at the beginning.
Yeah, everyone else's death is
What
just
about the
fucking.
dad and?
Oh, Frank in
There's maybe
Cliffhanger.
three. Like the young skier stoner getting killed.
even that I don't care as much about as the old helicopter pilot.
Yeah. So you got 3 deaths in there that are questionable, but killing like that whole group of
Well, we
mercenaries
have a
like Die Hard
category.
style.
We have category for deaths though.
Oh god damn it.
Deaths shouldn't factor into this. as
Yeah,
much.
because the deaths make it fun for me.
If we're going overall enjoyment,
Yeah, it's got to be overall.
I'm gonna again give it to Vertical Limit.
Now,
If
that
it's overall
being said,
enjoyment, I'm going to say that too. What about you?
overall enjoyment's Cliffhanger for me. I just had more fun watching it.
So it's going to Vertical Limit. 2 out of 3.
God damn it, I hate you guys. No, I really don't. That's why we're doing this, because we have difference of opinion. All right, and this is the final round.
Finish him. Round 4. Fight.
We're going to have a draw, aren't we?
Nick says deaths. Is that the final category for this one?
Deaths.
How'd you wind up with my pen?
Because I was just using it to keep track
Oh,
of
okay.
this.
I'm like, God damn it.
We've already talked about the deaths quite a bit so far, but
But let's go into them again here. So the first death in
Yeah, we
Vertical
can-
Limit, fucking hilarious.
the woman dying?
Vertical Limit.
Oh, okay. I was thinking we were doing Cliffhanger.
The first death is all those extra assholes hanging on.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, the
I didn't even write those down.
amateur climbers.
And I like those ones. Those ones are good because they're like, okay, here's some people we don't even know about or care about.
How many of those were there?
Wasn't there like 4 people hanged on that string? Like when they go through and like,
there was 2 that fell at that one point.
Okay, then it might actually beat Cliffhanger and on-screen kills.
The number of deaths?
Yeah.
oh,
yeah, I
'cause
think
those
more
3 or
people
4?
died in Vertical Limit, yeah.
If you exclude those,
But if we're
Vertical Limit had 8 and Cliffhanger had 13. But he just said 4 or 5 more, so that would put them almost tied.
But we should pay more attention to at least minor characters rather than...
Any on-screen death that
An
actually
on-screen
happened.
death's an on-screen death, Nick.
Okay.
That's all that counts.
Okay.
Argue about it later.
I didn't count like the dead body of the wife being discovered in Vertical Limit or anything. Like that doesn't count to me.
She's talked
So-
about dying, and we know that she's dead, but we don't
But
see
yeah,
her
it's
death.
not like a thrilling thing. You're not like, oh, this person's dying. Holy shit.
No. But Vertical Limit does have the... on the opening sequence, because you forget about all those people because you don't really give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
Like, here's this party of 3 people we know. So.
It's overshadowed by the dad's death.
And then you have one of the brothers and some people that die early on in the avalanche up there. One of the other guys. 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Vertical Limit?
yeah. Who else dies in that one? Eventually, both of those brothers end up dying.
The one gets
That
killed
woman
by the
finds
avalanche.
her way back to the group. The other guy, gets killed by the avalanche too. And then explosives kill the one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kills Sadiq and the other stoner brother or whatever.
Yeah.
When they're laughing after they spill the water. And they just go flying off to the
And-
side. That's funny, I think.
Bill Paxton and Montgomery Wick both end up dying.
How did Bill Paxton die again?
He's tied on to Montgomery Wick, and then Montgomery Wick cups the rope and knows that he's going to sacrifice himself to kill that guy.
Both
Yeah,
of
caught
these
that.
call back to their original trauma. This here for Chris O'Donnell, and Stallone catching what's-her-face and pulling her up later. His own, woman.
Yeah, that's like the resolution to the
Both wearing those
the
loose
trauma.
gloves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Deaths. It depends on how you rank it, because I'm a big horror guy, so I'm tempted to give it to Cliffhanger because
I give it to Cliffhanger just because the
I
deaths
think-
are more fun.
I think I gotta give it the
They're more
Cliffhanger
brutal.
also.
Like, I don't actually see anyone's body parts flying or anyone getting fucking impaled in Vertical Limit. It's all like gentle explosions on screen or people
No, I
falling
guess-
to their death.
I guess
And before we declare a winner,
Finish him.
And the only big fun blood splattering scene in Vertical Limit is the blood they fucking pull out of the one guy's body and send it up to blow off with a rocket. So the guy's already dead at that point.
that is pretty cool. That blood shooting up.
Yes.
Well,
And he did kill that guy in the neck. That's pretty fucked up.
oh, Paxton, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he
And that-
injects.
and
he
the
took
bag
the
of
syringe
blood.
and
He injected air into his
him,
neck
yeah.
and then just fucking.
Well, I think just the one killed by Stallone alone. Just,
That alone is the fucking fatality
takes the
of this
cake.
whole movie, man. That makes this movie worth watching over and over again.
but according to my calculations, the win is still clear.
Vertical Limit.
Wins.
Vertical Limit gets 2.5 points, and Cliffhanger gets 1.5 points.
Victory.
Yeah, I don't think there's a doubt about that, right? Vertical Limit.
Fatality.
The technical shooting of it looks good.
Yeah, quality-wise, but
The
it's
location
also
shooting
7
is
years newer.
So
Yeah.
let's review this. Round 1, we talked about the cast and characters real quick, and we did
A draw.
a draw. A tie, a draw.
yeah.
So there was no victor. Round 2 went to Vertical Limit, which was based on the plot and realism and plausibility. Round 3 also went to Vertical Limit, which was what did we do that again?
Fun / overall enjoyment. I guess.
Yeah, fun and overall enjoyment. Again, Vertical Limit.
Maybe overall enjoyment.
And then kills went to Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger at least got 1.
I assume.
Justin could have swung this in round 1, but he didn't.
I assume at one point we might do a versus where nobody dies, so kills wouldn't be a category.
No,
in that
these
one.
can change every
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the cast and characters will probably stay the same. And
Yeah,
the plot.
there's a couple of basics.
Basic
2 out of the
thing.
5 categories, right?
If
I
we
think?
review,
There were 4.
If
Four-
we review
four rounds.
romance films, we could say who has the better chemistry.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fine. Vertical Limit too. The other thing we forgot about to talk about on the point is right, like this whole FBI. Cliffhanger also has some of that vibes of what's that guy that's really famous for having parachuted out of the fucking plane that had the Netflix documentary that everyone's talking about.
I don't know.
They reference it in the Loki series, saying that he's the one guy that.
Oh, D.B. Cooper?
Yeah,
Who got
D.B.
away.
Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you have this hey, here's all this money. It's so that's Cliffhanger has this real life inspiration to that, but I feel like Bill Paxton's villain in this is Elon Musk. Just because it's a rich asshole trying to do some shit for capitalism and doesn't give a shit about anybody else and will kill anyone else in his way, and I feel that was foreskin shadowing for Elon Musk in the reality.
Was that supposed to be Robin Tunney's boyfriend? Or were they just friends?
I think it's just supposed to be her friend, yeah.
Okay. In
Just
the beginning,
another
I thought they were saying that they were romantically involved.
I don't think so.
No, both these are movies I would watch again, and I really need another viewing of Vertical Limit to kind of feel at some things in there.
While we're closing the show here, I want to say go on to patreon.com/strangeglowvideo If you sign up in the month of January, we're sending you free stickers.
And a magnet.
I don't think we have it set up to where you can just send us your address when you sign up. We probably should make that a thing, but you can DM us on Instagram at Strange Glow Video after you have signed up and give us your details for shipping.
Yeah, we'd like to get those things in
It's
your hands.
$2.99 a month, so check that out.
It's a value. For less than the price of a Starbucks drinks, for about the price of an energy drink, you can get
Or half dozen eggs.
additional content from us and some free stickers.
Like,
Magnet.
subscribe, review,
Yep.
comment, say anything you want.
And let us know what you like on these new formats, some of the new stuff we're doing. Just give us some feedback, and we definitely look
Suggestions
forward
for
to seeing you around.
feedback, suggestions for movie reviews.
Yeah,
And,
is there anything
We
we
may,
yeah.
we may not listen, but maybe.
All right. Good night, everybody.